The story of the Franks begins long ago. They were one of the many Germanic tribes living in what is today Germany. In the 4th century AD, they settled in northern Gaul. At that time, Gaul was under the control of the Roman Empire. Their first real contact with the Romans happened earlier when the Roman general Caesar conquered Gaul. This meeting was very important and shaped the future of the Franks.
The Rhine River played a big role during this time. It was the clear border between the Romans and the Germanic peoples. The Franks, like other tribes, lived along the Rhine. They were always in conflict with the Romans. The Romans wanted control, and so did the tribes. This struggle continued for many years and defined much of the early history between the Franks and the Romans.
As the 4th century unfolded, the Franks began to think about how they could secure their place in northern Gaul. They found a way to buy time by making alliances with the Romans. One especially important group, the Salian Franks, made a deal with Rome. In exchange for their loyal support, they were given permission to settle in a region known as Belgica Secunda. This was a big step for the Franks on their path to power.
The town of Tournai became a significant center for the Salian Franks. It was more than just a place to live. It was a base from where they would extend their influence. In return for the land, they provided military help to the Romans when needed. Establishing themselves in this way not only helped them become more stable, but also started building their reputation as allies while slowly growing stronger.
Clovis was very young when he became king after his father, Childeric, passed away. At just 15, he found himself leading the Franks. It wasn't easy for someone so young, but he showed great ambition and talent. His main goal was to strengthen his rule and make sure his people were loyal. Clovis worked hard to bring together different groups and secure his power. During the first 5 years, he focused on building his authority, ensuring everyone knew he was the rightful leader.
One of Clovis's first big tests came from the kingdom of Soissons, ruled by Syagrius. Syagrius was a strong leader, and his kingdom was the last remnant of Roman power in Gaul. Clovis saw an opportunity here. He needed allies to take on Syagrius, so he reached out to other Frankish leaders. King Ragnachar of Cambrai joined him, but King Cararic did not. This alliance with Ragnachar was crucial as it strengthened Clovis's army, preparing them for a significant battle against Soissons.
Hello everyone. I'm starting uploading videos to my main channel. I think you will find very precious knowledge about language acquisition there. Link is in the description.
Clotilde was a very important figure in Clovis's life. She was a Catholic Christian and wanted Clovis to become Christian too. They got married, and she worked hard to share her faith with him. Clotilde asked that their children be baptized as Christians. This was a big change for Clovis because his people were not Christian at the time. However, he respected Clotilde's wishes, even though he found it challenging.
At first, Clovis was not interested in becoming Christian. However, during the Battle of Tolbiac, he faced difficult moments. His army was losing, and he was desperate. It was then that Clovis remembered Clotilde's faith. He prayed to her Christian God for help. Surprisingly, the battle turned in his favor, and his troops won. This event made Clovis think about converting to Christianity more seriously.
After the Battle of Tolbiac, Clovis saw how the Christian faith helped him. He realized that becoming a Christian could also help him politically. Many powerful leaders in nearby regions were Christians. By joining the Christian faith, Clovis could gain new allies. A few months after the battle, Clovis and about 3,000 of his soldiers were baptized. This was a turning point for his reign and for his people.
Clovis's conversion to Christianity was not just about religion. It meant he was part of a wide community. This community was influential, and it helped strengthen his rule. The local Catholic people welcomed Clovis as one of their own. His change of faith made him more popular. It brought him closer to the other Christian kings and leaders, allowing him to secure his kingdom's place in history.
Clovis wanted to make his kingdom strong and secure. To do this, he married Clotilde, who was the niece of the Burgundian king. This was a smart move. It helped him make connections with powerful families. He knew this marriage would give him both personal and political advantages. Clotilde's family was Catholic, which would also help Clovis in his plans of uniting people under one faith.
While his marriage was important, Clovis also used his army to get more land. He saw an opportunity when problems arose in Burgundy. There were fights over who should be king. Clovis joined with Godegisel, who wanted to take over the throne from his brother Gundobad. Together they fought a big battle. When they won, it gave Clovis more power and control over important lands.
Once Gundobad was defeated, Clovis quickly took the chance to make deals. He could have pushed for more fighting, but instead he accepted an offer of peace. Gundobad agreed to pay Clovis regular payments if they stopped fighting. This agreement was smart because it meant Clovis had more land without using more soldiers. It also sent a message that Clovis was not just a warrior, but a wise leader.
The success in Burgundy was just the beginning of Clovis's expansion. With each victory, his influence grew stronger. He used both battles and peaceful agreements to increase his territories. This strategic approach showed how Clovis managed to expand his kingdom while keeping peace when necessary. The land he gained from these moves became the foundation for creating a unified territory under his rule.
As tension grew with the Visigoths, who followed the Arian Christian faith, Clovis saw a chance to present himself as a savior. Unlike the Visigoths, Clovis and his kingdom aligned with the Catholic faith. This was important because many people in the Visigoth lands were Catholic and felt distant from their leaders. Clovis could gain their support by showing he shared their beliefs and values.
In 507, Clovis led his army to battle against the Visigoths at Vouille. The stakes were high, but his soldiers were well prepared. Thanks to his strategy and local Catholic support, the Franks won the battle. King Alaric II of the Visigoths was killed during the fight. This victory allowed Clovis to expand his territory, claiming the land from the Loire River to the Pyrenees, strengthening his control over what would become France.
With the battle won, Clovis showed his leadership by ensuring the lands he conquered remained peaceful. He didn't allow his soldiers to loot, which earned him the trust of the locals. By respecting the local communities, Clovis united more people under his rule without force. This peaceful approach helped him to smoothly integrate these new regions into his kingdom, marking a significant expansion of his influence.
Clovis's successful campaign against the Visigoths demonstrated his skill as both a warrior and a leader. He managed to expand his kingdom while gaining the respect of newly conquered people. His approach showed that strength was not just about fighting, but also about building bridges with those he conquered. This method of combining force with diplomacy set Clovis apart and played a crucial role in his empire's growth.
After defeating the Visigoths, Clovis aimed to unite all the Franks under his rule. To do this, he had to remove rival kings from power. He knew that as long as they ruled separate areas, his kingdom wouldn't be strong. So Clovis used clever plans to grow his control. One of his strategies was to use betrayal to his advantage, turning trusted allies against their kings.
Clovis did not stop at just beating rivals in battle. He was smart and used diplomacy too. For instance, he persuaded Cloderic to betray his own father, Sigebert. When Cloderic killed Sigebert, Clovis acted quickly. He had Cloderic killed and took over his lands. This sort of method showed how Clovis could be both a warrior and a strategist, ensuring his rule over all the Franks.
Ragnachar was another king who stood in Clovis's way. Clovis knew he could not afford to fight him directly, so he offered bribes to the nobles around Ragnachar. These loyal nobles betrayed Ragnachar, never expecting that Clovis would make the best offer. After capturing Ragnachar, Clovis executed him and took his territories. This move solidified Clovis's power as no rival kings stood against him any longer.
With these victories, Clovis united the Franks into one kingdom. This was a big deal because it hadn't been done before. Under Clovis, the Frankish people became stronger together. He started a new dynasty called the Merovingians, named after his ancestor Merovec. This dynasty ruled for many generations and set the stage for the future of what would become France, shaping its culture as well. If you enjoyed learning about the Franks and the rise of Clovis, please consider liking and commenting on this podcast. Your support means a lot to us. If you would like to receive the full transcripts of our content and support our future projects, consider joining our YouTube membership. This membership gives you access to detailed content and helps us continue bringing you intriguing historical stories. Thank you for being with us in exploring the past.